This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
It is Thursday, the 6th of June, 2024. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. This is news to 6 a.m. on News Power Digital. Former Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith has called on Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley to put country first and give him and his team a chance to make Trinidad and Tobago safe again. In a video message to the Prime Minister, Griffith, who is the political leader of the National Transformation Alliance, urged Dr. Rowley to set aside his differences and give him, Griffith, the opportunity to share his plans, strategies, and policies, which he said was successful in reducing crime when he served both as National Security Minister under the Kamla Prasad Bisesar administration between 2013 and 2015, and as Police Commissioner under Dr. Rowley's government from 2018 to 2021. Dr. Rowley responded to the offer from the former cop saying, quote, Gary Griffith is a major part of the problem and cannot realistically be viewed as any serious person as part of the solution. It would be good if he directs his enthusiasm to the many worrisome police investigations which involved much of his truncated tenure. The PNM government voted for Griffith to become the police commissioner in 2018, but that situation soured in 2021 following allegations of corruption in the issuance of firearm users licenses under Griffith's tenure, which led to the appointment of a team led by retired Justice Stanley John to probe the issue. In August of 2022, Dr. Rowley called his role in the appointment of Griffith as Commissioner of Police the biggest mistake of his life. Finance Minister Colm Imber has painted a bleak picture for the state of the country's finances due to lower than projected oil and gas revenues, and has warned that the next 3 years will be very challenging from a revenue perspective. He therefore stressed the need to collect taxes and raise revenue, as he disclosed this country's deficit for fiscal 2024 has increased to some $9 billion instead of the estimated $5 billion. On Tuesday, the Court of Appeal granted an interim injunction preventing the government from implementing the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority at least until September 25th. In his affidavit, which was presented to the court, Imber detailed the need for the government to operationalize the TTRA, saying the delays in so doing can cost the country $2 billion in revenue, which it could have collected in taxes. The minister noted TNT's economy is based on oil and gas, and its performance is heavily dependent on international prices and the amount of oil and gas the country produces. He admitted the 2024 budget was based on higher oil and gas prices, which did not materialize. Imber continued the fall in oil and gas prices and lower than expected production of oil and gas has had a profound impact on the country's petroleum reserves, leading to a projected shortfall in revenue for 2024 of some 5 billion TT dollars. And the Finance Ministry says at no time did Minister Colm Imber say or even imply he was contemplating a cut in the allocation for the Chronic Disease Assistance Program, CDAP. It gave the explanation as the minister responded to what he describes as inaccurate, misleading, and dangerous reporting and commentary by the Trinidad Guardian newspaper on statements he made in Monday's Parliament on the budgetary allocation to the Ministry of Health. A 12-year-old girl was shot twice during an ambush by a gunman who attempted to kill her father on Wednesday night. The incident occurred around 8:25 p.m. at Cascade Crescent, Bagatelle, and Diego Martin. The girl's father was said to have just pulled into his driveway when the lone gunman approached and fired several shots at him. While he was able to escape unharmed, the father realized his 12-year-old daughter had been shot in the abdomen and shoulder. The injured girl was taken to the St. James Medical Complex, where she underwent emergency surgery. Marijuana worth an estimated 17.7 million TT dollars has been seized in the Southwestern Division during an operation conducted by Intelligence Unit of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. The operation was conducted between 1 and 8 p.m. on June 4th. Among the narcotics seized was a total of 66 packets of U.S.-grown marijuana weighing 48.7 kilograms, with an estimated street value of TT $12,170,370, and 51 packets of Colombian-grown marijuana weighing 51 kilograms, with an estimated street value of TT $5,597,097. One man, a 63-year-old man from South Oropouche, was arrested for the offense of possession of cannabis for the purpose of trafficking. In news of the region, Dominica's government is pushing ahead with plans to modernize the country's electoral system. The move comes amid opposition concerns about voter padding and the voters' list. Following an extended period of national consultations, new legislation to reform the electoral system is set to go before the country's parliament later this month. And finally, the head of the United Nations says the world's fossil fuel industries should be banned from advertising to help save the world from climate change. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres called coal, oil, and gas corporations the godfathers of climate chaos who have distorted the truth and deceived the public for decades. That is news to 6 a.m. right here on News Power Digital. We'll have major news coming your way at 7 a.m. Good morning.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
Neighbors, 6.5 minutes after the hour of 6 o'clock on this 6/6. That's right, the 6th day of the 6th month, 2024. Thank you so much for joining us on the Power Breakfast Show on Power 102 Digital. What's up, Paul?
666 is a sign of the devil, you know. Watch out yourself today.
No, that's 666 is the signing of Wendell. I mean Richard. I mean Ruben. I mean 666. Today is just 6/6. You get in there, Paul. 6/6. You get in there. You're 2/3 there. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us, folks. Those on YouTube and Facebook and on Me TV. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, it's the R Twins this morning. You just heard from Paul Richards on our news brief. We'll hear from Richard Ragoobarsingh. We got Ruben in the mix, Shane as well. My name is Steve Khan. So what's going on, Pablo, before I say hello to those?
Good morning, everyone. Good Thursday morning. I'm just happy the week is almost over.
Yeah, you know, I woke up thinking today was Friday.
Where you can get tickets for this cricket match this evening?
At the Oval, online.
The match is at the Oval today?
I have no idea.
Isn't it at the Brian Harris Stadium?
I think I think they're still selling tickets at the Oval for it.
Well, this evening shouldn't be so bad to get tickets. It's some weird game. It's not Uganda and somebody.
I'll have to pull up the show. Wendell,
my professor came in from St. Vincent. Now he's from Michigan, but yesterday, and he's so interested in this cricket match this evening, and he's stressing me out to get tickets. So.
We'll sort you out, man.
Begging me to go. I said, no, I'm not doing cricket now.
You go cricket?
No. But there's a good match tomorrow. There's New Zealand tomorrow. And somebody playing West Indies playing New Zealand or something tomorrow. I see some teams in that cricket that he was telling me yesterday. I never know play cricket in the world.
Yeah. David Wares will send me the schedule, and I'll send it for you.
Some weird teams and matches. India playing in New York.
And you know that's
kind of craziness like that. Who organized this thing?
But I will tell you, the India-Pakistan game to be held in New York this weekend, they have actually beefed up security because of threats.
Nobody's going to be there.
That's what you think. Trinis live in West. People from the Caribbean living in New York will go to it. Let big guy and they tell me when they call. All in New York.
Those matches would have done much better in the Caribbean.
Well, I think they want to spread it out. I think they want to get the U.S. involved. So, but David Wares is saying you can available at the booth at the Oval and online.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think, yeah.
David, how much is the ticket?
No clue.
I ain't fit to beg nobody today.
Yeah. We'll organize some tickets for today. I do believe it is in Taruba. Yeah, Brian, yeah. David, send me the schedule so I can forward it to Paul. All right. Let's say good morning. Going to a few people on Facebook and YouTube this morning. And those joining us on Me TV, good morning to you. Edwin Marshall, God Celia, Oliver Manwaran, Wendy and James, Anthony Tinto. What is Anthony saying here? He says, Happy birthday to his brother, Marcus Tinto. All right. So happy birthday to you, Marcus. Doreen Pierre, boy, Bedesi. I vex it here, boy. Wayne B. in Governor, Georgia. Slick Money Grip. I sash out in London. Ray out in West Palm Beach, Florida. What's your weather going to be like for today? Carol Guevara. John Cato. Carol Joseph. CJ New York. Maria Celia. Marcia Rock out in Orlando. Sherwin Kerr. Subash Mangal. Good morning to you. Alistair Hart, Brian Hackshaw, Randy Kelly, Gloria Gray, Nikisha Pierre, Miss Ingrid in Tucson, Arizona, David Wares, and of course, Mrs. Wares.
It's on now, David.
Morgan, Cheryl.
He's a nice wake up late.
Who's that?
It's on me TV now. It's like he wake up late.
Ambrose Blah, good morning. Right, we think that New York, the home of, okay, yeah, I agree with you, Ambrose Blah. David Wares, Dancing Queen. Good morning to you, Dancing Queen. Wayne B, anyhow, Miguel, Cynthia Aaron, Lord, Michael Robinson, Yokohama, Japan, Karen, now, a lot of people locked on already this morning. Do I have any on WhatsApp? Let me just check here. GMC Auto Security, Val, Sankofa, Dan Raj, and let's say good morning, get out to David Nelson. That's on WhatsApp this morning. You can WhatsApp us at 318-1021. Do not call the WhatsApp number, please. All right. No one will answer it. We won't even hear it ring.
So good morning, everyone.
Yeah. It's pre-Friday. Yeah. The weekend is inside. I want to rewind to the last week.
No.
Rewind to last week. At this time, I was.
Other news came out yesterday. Former Commissioner of Police Guy Griffith I put out a video calling on the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, to put country first and give him, Griffith, and his team a chance to make Trinidad and Tobago safe again. So the Express newspaper WhatsApp Dr. Rowley to respond to the offer from Mr. Griffith. And Dr. Rowley's response, I'm editing here, saying, open quotations, Gary Griffith is a major part of the problem and cannot realistically be viewed as any serious person to be part of the solution. And that Dr. Rowley said it would be good if he directs his enthusiasm to the many worrisome police investigations which involve much of his truncated tenure. His tenure was truncated. I mean, the term ended and he didn't renew him.
Yeah, I think the contract ended. It did not.
Well, I'm going to say that. It had bacchanal with the PSC and yada.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Rowley in 2022, of August of 2022, called Griffith the biggest mistake of his life. So, ain't going no love between the two of them for a while. Let's just put it that way. Good morning, Mr. Ragoobarsingh.
Good morning, guys.
Speaking of love.
And good morning to our listeners across Trinidad and Tobago and wherever you
sent
are.
a great question yesterday, which I think we should use, based on that being the top story. With I see it's on the front page. Is it the Guardian or the Express?
It's on the front page of the Guardian for sure.
The Guardian this morning. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Saying what the Express's column's big issue, which is the budget deficit going to 9 billion instead of the projected 5 billion, but that's another story. I have the later one.
Mm-hmm.
The Guardian has the Guy Griffith offer to the Prime Minister, which of course the Prime Minister has refused.
Oh, has he answered already?
The Express newspaper apparently WhatsApped him, and he responded by saying that Guy Griffith, I want to quote exactly, I know what you say, I say, quote, open quotations, Guy Griffith is a major part of the problem and cannot realistically be viewed as any serious person as part of the solution, and it would be good if he, I guess Gary, directs his enthusiasm to the many worrisome police investigations which involve much of his truncated tenure. So your question yesterday that you sent yesterday is very apropos. in terms of should the PM accept the offer from Guy Griffith to help deal with crime. Good morning, Avril St. Hill Bab. I'm sending it now. I was editing it for you so you'd have an easier time, ma'am.
Right now in Orlima, it's 27 degrees Celsius.
I wanted to say something there.
I should send the whole messed up thing. They work a little harder. No appreciation at all from this woman.
None at all, you know.
You understand? I got to make her life easy, and all she does is buff. If it go 6:15 at all, she ain't get it.
So we're so sorry for that.
It has been sent, Mrs. St. Hill Bab. Wow. Yeah. So, Richard's question is apropos.
Yeah.
Do you think the Prime Minister should accept Gary's offer and let bygones be bygones and yada, yada, yada? That'll be a question later on.
To deal with the crime situation.
To deal with the crime situation.
Deal with the crime situation.
Yeah, so that happened. And while that was happening, a 12-year-old girl was shot.
Yep. In Crystal Stream by the traffic light.
When a gunman who attempted to kill her father on Wednesday, I guess he's up this morning, the gunman that is having breakfast with his children.
Oh, yeah.
Tried to kill his
one.
father at 8:25. The man had just pulled into his driveway when the lone gunman approached and fired several shots. He was unharmed, however, unfortunately and tragically, the 12-year-old daughter had been shot in the abdomen and shoulder. I think she was taken to the St. Jean Medical Complex where she underwent emergency surgery. Fortunately, she's alive and I understand in stable condition. But I mean, so I hope the gunman this morning is feeding his own children and sending him off to school.
Hopefully that little girl, you know, survives.
Another child. Hopefully.
I want to play a video for you. And I said this last week, and it is coming to pass. And when I play the video, let me play the video, and then
we'll understand. All right.
This is
roll for the video.
YouTube blogger Christopher Hughes.
Oh, okay.
And I presume this video is made after his release on bail.
Yes, so I want to talk about a comment that I just saw somebody leave about me. Let's get into this. Let me keep this relatively short and sweet.
Thank you.
But as a YouTuber and a journalist that is white in color, I find often when I go to predominantly darker skinned countries, I get a lot of negative feedback like, don't go, don't film, you're making us look bad. I never get that when I'm in the Middle East. So, you know, Palestine's going through a lot of problems, Syria, Iraq. When I film that as a journalist, never ever do I get Middle Eastern residents coming and saying, Chris, don't be here because you're white. But when I'm in Jamaica, it's all love. Belize, it's all love. Trinidad, it's all love. But there are always a couple people that don't want me here with my camera, whether it be that they're embarrassed of the issues, and I hope they are embarrassed, okay, because there's reason to be embarrassed. There is gang warfare in Trinidad well before I came. Well before I came. I am not the cause of the problem, nor will I be the solution. I document what I see. So for this gentleman that said, I'm coming here and I'm the reason for the killings and watch how many people die from my videos, I wish you would use your voice in a positive manner to lift up your community. Okay? You know, trying to get views off my name, man, it's up to you. You obviously hate me for one reason. I'm white. If I was darker skinned, you would not be putting out the video. I'm okay with that. I'm not here to try to change your mind. But if you look at the content that I film in my own country, Canada, I don't film luxury high-rises. I don't film beautiful restaurants. I film homeless encampments, okay? Drug problems, crime areas. Why? Not because I'm trying to make my own country look bad. I'm trying to highlight the problem so that a solution, somebody smarter than me, can help with the solution. I'm not doing anything different here in Trinidad. Again, I know I will not be liked by everyone. People call me a colonizer, a white man. Hey, I was born in Canada. Canada was also colonized by the British. So all I can say is this. If a black man went to a homeless camp in Toronto and filmed it, never in a million years would I have the balls big enough to go onto their page and say, black man, leave my city or you're not welcome here. and blame them for the homeless problem that's been happening for decades. That's it. For that man that left that comment, man, pure stupidity. You're welcome to your opinion. I don't have to win everybody over. But man, fix yourself, fix your community. Then white people like myself or any other color, gender, will not come into your community and film gang wars. That's the answer. That is it. Love to all.
Right. Now, when I saw that, I mean, okay. I never heard him call himself a journalist before. He did in that piece, right? Remember we were talking about the Fourth Amendment, not the Fourth Amendment, the Fourth Estate and the journalistic premise that his defense could be based on. Remember Richard and Steve? Well, he identified himself as a journalist there. Not so?
Journalist, blogger, that's what he said. Yeah.
Right, so he said journalist too. And I hadn't heard that before. He also said that, which is something that has been discussed, that some people don't want upset because he make any place look bad, which is another premise some people said that he was targeted for. I think, let me not say what, I think one of the things that one of our guests recently said. And also, he pulled a race card. You understand? Because he's white. Well, Mr. Hughes, with the greatest of respect, that last one, I criticize aspects of our criminal justice system, and people come at me, and I am not white. So that last part is nonsense, in my mind.
Well, I think he's directly responding to the man whoever made the comment.
Yeah, but he's saying the man, one of the reasons he's proffering that the man made the comment is because he's a white person making the comment. Well, a white non-Trinidadian making the comment.
Yeah.
I make comments about our criminal justice system all the time. I from here and I black.
Yeah, but I say
I don't say it's because
I can't equate that with him. You don't know what the man said. Suppose the man said you're white Canadian or you're white colonizer.
Maybe if he did,
I'm just saying he may be contextualizing
it. It didn't seem that way to me.
Yeah, maybe contextualized in that sense. You need to see what the comment was.
Yeah, I find I'm always wary of the race card. But I do believe that embarrassed some people, and some people were very upset. And I was almost sure that the journalism thing was going to come up as one of his defense predicates. Yeah. So.
Yeah. In court, you mean?
Huh?
In court, you mean?
In court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we see how it all plays out, because I mean, we did raise that with Larry Lala, senior counsel, yesterday, and he said, well, the Sedition Act has at least one interpretation of it in terms of its constitutionality did go before the Privy Council. And the Privy Council said you just have to show that there is a direct threat of violence for it to be valid. So we said it all plays out. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but along those lines.
I think what he should have done in the videos is what many TikTokers do when they respond in the comments, is they put up the comment in the corner, so we see what the comment is. So I understand what the responses are, but he said the only reason is that I didn't get the impression that the person, but maybe the person did also. But I'm always wary of the race card being pulled. But I was sure the journalistic card was going to be pulled. Yeah. And that has certain privileges attached to it. You know, that cannot be discounted. So we'll open the phone lines. The other big news that broke yesterday, of course, is that the finance minister has now painted, according to an Express article, a bleak picture of the state of TNT's finances due to lower than projected oil and gas revenues. And the budget deficit is now expected to increase from its original estimate of $5 billion to $9 billion. Now, did
the Minister of Finance see this? Or this is
the Minister of Finance. The Minister of Finance is quoted as saying that this. Part of the quotation is the weighted average price of oil produced in TNT has fallen below the projected $85 per barrel to $81.04 per barrel, and the net back price of natural gas has been a mere $3.22 per MMBTU, which is 36% below the budgeted price. And there are several experts who, when the budget was read, said that the price projected, based on the information I guess at the time, was optimistic. And now we seeing this. Now, based on the information at the time, there was this issue with Russia and Ukraine and a lot of the issues in the Middle East, which would have pushed the oil and gas prices up. He also said that, of course, we have production level issues in this country that have been going on for a while. So the how much money we make is based on the prices of the commodities as well as how much we produce, obviously. Because if we produce less, we can sell less. If we produce more, we can sell more, even at the moderate prices. So those are two issues facing us. And now we are having a deficit in the projected revenue of the country for fiscal 2024. So we will see how it goes. So I know that's going to play a big part in the mid-year review, which goes to the House of Representatives tomorrow, and the additional appropriations that the ministry is asking for in about 6 or 7 different areas, including health, education, etc., etc. So we see how it all goes. We open the phone lines.
Yep, got some calls already. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Big guy, you're going to the cricket games in New York this weekend?
So those tickets have been sold out for over 2 months now.
Wow.
Okay, I stand corrected.
And I was going to tell you about that. The security is so tight. You have to park a distance and walk on a narrow road in Nassau County, I believe. And just in Nassau County, they're going to have 100 police just driving around. Just to keep, because it's serious security. That thing is sold out. With respect to Mr. Christmas, yes, Paul, he has to pay the journalist card. He is facing a jail term or something. He has to find ways to get out. Whatever card he uses, is to try and get out. Now, I saw a video this morning I was looking at a couple of years ago with Alexander and another gentleman of Caucasian persuasion. And Alexander, ASP Alexander, in the video said that the drug gangs are now getting legal money from the government. That's a hell of a statement to make, saying that the drug gangs are getting legal money from the government, from the politicians. That's a hell of a statement. Also,
well, while I understand that you are seeing what you saw, we have to be careful with that, because you're attributing it to somebody and we can't independently verify it.
It's on YouTube.
Okay, and that's fine.
It's on YouTube right now. I can give it put up today.
But what I'm saying is that while I fully understand that you saw it, we can't independently verify, because I didn't see it. I didn't know if Richard and Steve saw it. So we have to be careful.
You have been speaking about it too, all the time, every day. It's just common knowledge. That is after the video. And the gentleman also said it too. All right? You can take a look at it. I wouldn't continue, but you can take a look at it. It's all over there for the world to see.
All right.
I don't understand what is serious about this gentleman. All right? And we have plenty calls. You all have a great day.
Thank you. Same to you.
Guy. Thank you.
Right.
Good morning. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Paul. Good morning, Steve.
Morning.
Morning, Paul. Morning, Richard.
Morning.
Yes. When Mr. Hughes, when he first came up and you all were asking if he was a journalist or not, that never came up. That he's been a journalist, because they gave whatever his portfolio is, and journalist was never mentioned. But when I read about the Sedition Act and as I say, fourth estate and so on, with the journalist, it's kind of prohibit. He could do certain things. Well, he was advised to say he's now a journalist. So I guess that is one of the defenses that he will use for his matter. So
I'm not surprised. I thought it would come up, and I wasn't. When I saw it yesterday, That's why I downloaded it to play this morning. I said, maybe he has, and I didn't see it, but I've never heard him call himself a journalist before.
That was never mentioned before. Never mentioned as a journalist. It's only some other bloggers who came on supporting him, who claim to be journalists and so on, as well as bloggers. But they always said, we don't even say bloggers because it starts with a V, right? And so you pronounce it bloggers, right?
But it's video blog, so vlog.
Right, video blog, right. So they say bloggers. So journalists, his portfolio as journalist never came up until now when I saw you say that just now there. And now the thing with Gary Griffith, I mean, when it will end, Gary Griffith knows full well that Dr. Rob will never entertain any discussion with him. Is it to start up a next thing again in the country with both of them? You know, them is like love and hate together, yes? So have a good morning. Thank you.
All right, have a great day.
Well, I don't know if it's love.
Good morning.
Hey, morning.
Good morning, Mr. Patrick.
Good morning, Mr. Patrick.
How is it? Richard Ragoobarsingh, all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
I don't laugh at the comment. The guy made because he white. And when I hear people that talk that way, I just lose respect for them, you know. The minute you try to bring race in, thing I just watch you totally different. Race and politics. When the charge was you and Abu Bakr was because of race? Huh?
I'm not so sure what the equivalent is.
He wasn't commenting on the charge, Mr. Patrick. He's commenting on a comment.
So what somebody said?
Yeah, but so he wasn't commenting on the charge. He was commenting on a
comment
comment somebody said about his work. So I don't think the two could just be automatically mixed together.
So if somebody say you white and you get charged, or you're black or you're Indian and you get charged, is a race issue what? If I say a black man get charged, is a race issue? Or a white man get charged? This white and black and Indian and African and PNM.
He's entitled to his opinion. We're entitled to agree or disagree.
I don't get anything about it because if the man makes something and they find he breached the law, you get charged. And this is what color you say what? You understand? I was watching something with Ragoobarsingh reading two people which have highlight the cost of living in Canada, America, and Trinidad. And I was reading it, the cost for rental, transportation, cars, water bill, taxes, and everything. It's cheaper than we say that. But the only problem in Trinidad is the crime.
Yeah.
Richard?
Yeah. Okay, I know. I hear you.
Yeah, you read it?
No. I didn't read. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's our article on the Guardian, I believe, or the Express, where they interview some people, but the cost of living in Canada
It's very
America,
high.
And in Trinidad. And the cost of living in those countries is very high. Where people are sort of going away for a new heaven. So there was interviewing the people out there and see the cost, rent, transportation, luxury, phone, WhatsApp bill, Kentech bill, gas bill, when they come along the road. I say, wow, I go there, yes, but the crime is the issue. Right? The professor would have been on your program. The economist. What's the guy name? The Indian guy.
Professor Roger Hussein.
Hussein, I think it is after.
Okay. I know a lot of Trinidad Americans always raise two issues, at least in my conversations with them about, because even though a lot of them may want to return to Trinidad at some point, the two issues they raise are crime and healthcare.
Yeah.
Yeah, but healthcare is very expensive. Everything is expensive. But
those are two issues that they raise. Well, for a lot of Trinidad Americans, they have insurance. But those are the two issues that generally crop up. Crime and healthcare.
And insurance is a different price too. That's why insurance is a hefty thing in Trinidad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all right. Thanks, Mr. Patrick. Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning, all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Looking at the Minister of Finance in terms of telling us that we have this limited amount of production that we're getting from the oil. I looked at the on the ministry website. I looked at there were 13 blocks that were up for grab in terms of us trying to continue to have some level of production. And from that 13, there were 6 bids for these specific blocks, and that was as of the 27th of May. So it's going to be interesting to see when the award takes place, how much. It just goes to show you why energy companies are leaving Trinidad and Tobago. Some of them have gone to Guyana and elsewhere. It brings into question, Dr. Paul, I know you are part of it, and it brings a question about diversification. Seriously, we have to look at diversification. When you look at the Writer's Cut report, in terms of 10 to 12 years of reserve left, there needs to be something plausible that we have to put in place in terms of diversifying away from the energy sector and getting our non-energy sector to boost. There has been some level through the agricultural sector, trade, and elsewhere in terms of growing the non-energy sector. It moved from 1.5 billion, it's close to 4-point-something billion. But more needs to be done seriously in terms of in that area where diversification is concerned, and we have to put plausible and coherent policies in place to guide us in that direction. Before I go, I don't want people to misunderstand what Chris was saying with his remarks. He was responding to someone who were alluding to that because of your particular color, you could come in Trinidad and Tobago and do whatever you want. I locked on and listening.
Thank you.
That whole issue of diversification is a conversation that has been going on since we in primary school.
Before that.
So, and obviously governments that have ruled us have always looked at us being an energy producing country and has always focused on that more than whatever level of diversification. That has always been the focus. How do we fix the energy if it needs fixing at whatever point in time? And it continues to be that on a certain level. I mean, part of it is that we are a mature energy producing country. So of course, a lot of our fields and stuff are mature. But I suppose the state is still optimistic that there is still oil and gas to be found.
But even if the fields are mature, Richard, we have acknowledged that we have production level issues.
Yeah, we do have production level issues.
That's although the fields are mature, and that's an accurate statement. We've had production issues for a while. So even when the oil and gas prices are very buoyant, we don't make as much as we could make because we're not producing as much as we should be producing.
Yeah.
So it's like a double-edged sword.
Yeah. All right, let's grab another call here. Good morning.
Good morning to all in the studio.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. It seems as though Gary Griffith is not giving up on wanting to become the commissioner of police again. I said, wait, I hadn't heard him for days. And then I heard he jump out because I was wondering, how come he didn't say anything concerning this thing with Christopher Hughes? But there it is, he said, and he wants to assist and forget all what I said to you, Dr. Rowley. Wow, this man never ceases to amaze me. I want to ask something. The police officers, I am sure they are confused right now based on the outbursts and the rhetoric coming out from the leader of the opposition. I think she's confusing them because 1 minute she said she's not supporting the bail bill and the gun bill because she's afraid the police set up the little black boys with gun. And now she's telling them to attack Wilford full force. I mean, what it is, Kamala Prasad Bisesa, please. You're confusing these police officers because you the one said you're not supporting the bill. The police officers are really, I feel it for them because they do their work, make their arrests, and then they just come and they get bail and they back out on the streets. And now you telling these same officers, attack with full force? Really, Miss Bissessa? No. This police officers, I will say a special, I pray for you all, you know. I pray for all the protective services. But you see, right now, I am going to say a special prayer for the police officers, especially the hard-working ones. Because right now, Camilla Prasad Bissessa confusing them. Have a blessed day.
Same to you.
All right. Have a good one. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Buenos días. ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien. Well, I hope I could make my contribution this morning without getting buff. Right. I'm wondering if we still have a media association or journalist association in this country. Because people that just come and jump in here, and then when things happen, they give themselves names. And I'm wondering if that name that gentleman Wallet showed there earlier this morning, is there any kind of a permission that he has to get from like the government or the
No. Anybody considers a journalist?
media? Oh, yes, just come into our country.
There's seemingly no prerequisite.
All right, but then you don't have to get a permit or
No.
so to do things.
A camera and a mouth, that's all you need.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right. Well, from the time I see the change
computer.
in the situation, I know it have some kind of trouble in that. So we will watch and see what happens. But you see, the constant talking, and I read somewhere on the Instagram where you see that he's waiting on his new equipment. And then somebody asked him if whoever was interviewing him, if he will do the same thing again all over again. He says yes, and all that. I tell you, some people really, they go certain parts of the world and get away with a lot of nonsense that they can't do in other places. So we will see how that pans out. Richard, I'd like to speak to Richard personally. Richard, you see, when you're here, I call on that station. Don't talk to me like I ain't a player. You see, that energy you put out yesterday to feel you with me, put it out in Love is a Work. You hear? Keep it for there. You understand? And as for the Mr. Steve So, well, I will deal with you at some other time. You all have a good day.
Enjoy your day, mi amor. Come out for you this morning. What papers you have, Ragoobarsingh, if any at all? I think you're muted, you know. If you're talking, I ain't any at all.
Just the Guardian, sorry.
Okay. Shall we go into the newspapers this morning? It's 6:44. Let's start with the Express. The front page of the Express is columns, big headache. Budget deficit rises to $9 billion. Finance Minister laments lower oil and gas revenues. Warns of challenging 3 years ahead if taxes are not collected. 10 foreign properties to get upgrades. 4.9 million in severage for London staff. Column says next 3 years challenging. Demerit review coming. Richard, you've been speaking about this. Works and Transport Minister Rohan Sinan says the ministry is reviewing the demerit point system, tinting and driving tests for young drivers. Economist, Imber's concerns on economy are justified. Gary Griffith, I can make TNT safe again. Ex-candidate loses in court. The High Court has dismissed a claim brought by a chauffeur employed at the Central Bank of TNT after he faced dismissal for not withdrawing, I think, from some electoral process or the other. Right, so those are trending. And cop hit by car at roadblock is a story, another story. During a roadblock operation in Freeport. I mean, you couldn't get it worse when you hit a police officer during a roadblock. It don't get worse than that. Would you care to go, Richard?
All right, so the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian for today, and of course today is Thursday, June 6th, 2024, and the headline, Gary, work with me, PM. Griffith ready to help Rowley with crime, says he has a plan to fix TNT situation asks that they put their egos aside. That's the front page of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian. The main picture is that of parents of murder victim Jaden Reyes. Alicia Left and Ansel console each other during a liturgy of lamentation at the St. Martin de Porres RC Church in Gonzales, Belmont yesterday. The mass was held for Reyes and the other 3 victims of last weekend's mass shootings. Totally sad story. I mean, and I don't know if you heard, Gary apparently is good friends with the father, and he said that the boy and his brother, after the shooting took place, was really just carrying this person to the hospital. And
yeah, I saw that.
And then they got shot up. And
really unfortunate. And very promising young man, too.
Yep. My nephew knows him. So, anyway, police close to finalizing Hannah Matura's case. And on the back page of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, what's this story? You know, I don't know what the result was yesterday in the Grenada match. Shaky start, TNT draw with Grenada.
1-1-2. Grenada won.
No, 2-2.
2-2, it's a draw.
2-2, Steve. Wrong information.
This morning. Hold on, let me check that again.
That's on the back page of the Guardian this morning.
2-2.
Shaky start, TNT draw with Grenada.
I got 1-2.
2-2. We will go with what the Guardian says.
Yeah, go with that.
Yeah. And that's it for the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian for this morning. Over to you, Paul.
Let's move to the news day. IMF, TNT economy strongest in a decade with a picture of Minister of Finance Colin Imber. SSA facing legal threats over firing. Ex-spy threatens SSA with lawsuit. Bill to be laid in the House moves to make PAN Trinidad Tobago's national instrument officially. Abdullah, 75% of workers not unionized. Expert food security ongoing issue in the Caribbean. Port of Spain corporation workers dispute overtime pay. Woman threatens prosecutor after Princess Town case. And Urpoon man shot dead a week after release from jail. So those are trending stories in the Express, Guardian, and Newsday for today, Thursday, the 6th of June, 2024.
All right. Paul, we have no games, no cricket match in Trinidad today, by the way.
It's tomorrow?
Nope. Not until the 12th.
Okay. Oh, it's next week. Is it next week?
I sent you the schedule.
I got it. I forwarded it. Yeah. Right. So it leads to a question. Do you have the results of the poll from yesterday?
Yeah, and I'll give you that. So our poll yesterday, we asked you, should the names of attorneys working for the state and their fees be made public? 91, I could guess which one. 91% of you said yes. C. All right, let's get into this morning's poll. It's a doozy. Here we go. There it is. All right, so our morning poll for today, call us. You can start calling. 222-8255. North Americans, 866-525-1099 on WhatsApp at 318-1021 on Facebook and on YouTube. Do you think the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, should accept the offer of Gary Griffith to assist in the fight against crime? Yes or no? That's a doozy. Let's get a lot of votes on this one. All right. Of course, our poll will stay up until tomorrow morning when we give you the final results. All right. Do you think the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, should accept the offer of Gary Griffith to assist in the fight against crime in Trinidad and Tobago? Yes or no? We got a call here, so let's grab this one quickly and I go to the messages. Good morning.
Good morning again. Hell no.
All right, thank you.
So surprised.
Is that the first vote? Is that the first vote?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So Brent Hackshaw said yes. Wayne B said no. Alistair Hart said yes. David West doing a show in no. That's what he says. Ambrose Blah, hell no. Calvin Mahabir, yes. Kenny out in Harlem. I say no to the poll. Pearl Quarter says no. Yeah. Okay, send your message via WhatsApp. I have it right here. I did a fancy thing. Okay. Josie Richardson said yes. Gregory Bauer says no to the poll. Donna Clark says yes. Slick Money Grip says hell no. Okay. Dave Gosign says no. I'm reading how they type. Beauty Culture, no. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen. Lutz, yes.
All righty, thank you. Good morning.
Definitely.
All righty, thank you, Arima. Do you think the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, should accept the offer of Gary Griffith to assist in the fight against crime in Trinidad and Tobago? Oscar Daniel, no. Cheryl Henry, we just want yes or no. Royalty Forever, yes. Kadeem Khan Jr., no. All right, let's see what WhatsApp's got. I have Precious. Precious is saying, Precious is Eve. Eve out in Chicagonas. Okay. Says yes. Peter says no. Danrad says yes. Black Pill, good morning to you, Black Pill, says no to the poll. I've got somebody in London. Who is this? I must get his name. Vincent. Vincent says no. Cascade St. Anne says yes. Let's see. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Right. Anyhow, Miguel says hell no. Esther Adams says no. Reynold Jeffrey says no. Okay. Dan, who's this? Dre out in Rio Claro says I vote yes. I've got somebody here, Debbie, saying one big fat no. Thank you, Debbie. All right, let's see. Aries Born says nope.
So do you think the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, should accept the offer of Gary Griffith to assist in the fight against crime in Trinidad and Tobago? That's our poll this morning.
Miss Ingrid in Tucson, Arizona says yes. Cheryl Henry says, hell no, no matter what. Okay, thank you, Cheryl Henry. I've got Kathy Ann saying no to the poll. Thank you so much. Thank you. Right. Let's see. Do you think the Prime Minister should accept Gary Griffith's offer to assist in the fight against crime in Trinidad and Tobago? Hector, yes. Denwell, that's it. Yes, he should. Okay. Robinson Manswell, help is help, no matter what side. So yes. Okay. I'm just going back and forth here. Okay. I've got yes, he should. And this is from Karen. Thank you, Karen. Anne Marie says, no way, Jose. Okay. Let's see. Thank you, Anne Marie. Do I have it in my
Do you think the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, should accept the offer of Gary Griffith to assist in the fight against crime in Trinidad and Tobago? Because he made that call yesterday.
Yeah.
I think what he said was, I don't need to like you. You don't need to like me. Above all, we need to be patriots.
All right. Good morning, caller.
Good morning to the poll.
Morning.
No to the poll.
No.
Trevor in Georgia.
All right, Trevor in Georgia. Thank you so much. Have a great day. All right. Finbar Collins says no. All right, Finbar Collins. I've got Central Animal Lover saying nah. Okay. I have got I got Jason saying what? Yes. Okay. I've got no, that's ridiculous coming from Lenny James. I've got Lorna. Morning, Lorna. Morning, Indy and Carly. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right. You have a couple of minutes again to vote on our poll.
You have any votes on WhatsApp?
I just read them.
Oh, okay. So do you think the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, should accept the offer of Gary Griffith to assist in the fight against crime in Trinidad and Tobago? 222-TALK, 222-8255, North Americans, 866-525-1099. That's absolutely toll-free. People on the web and other streaming platforms, you can use the messaging platforms there to send your vote. And if you're watching us on television, you could WhatsApp us at 868-318-1021.
Yeah, that's our number directly into the studio. Do you think the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, should accept the offer of Gary Griffith to assist in the fight against crime in Trinidad and Tobago? Yes or no? All right. Right, I got no votes here. Do I have WhatsApp at 318-1021? Or you could call us 222-8255. North Americans, toll free 866-525-1099. Val says cautiously yes. Thank you, Val. Have a great day.
Did you read Adrian Kutu?
To see where it is. No, I didn't. Adrian said no. And Julia S. Batiste.
Adrian says yes.
Oh, sorry. Adrian says yes. I was reading Julia S. Batiste. Julia S.
But Julia says yes too.
But that's what I said. Adrian Kutu says yes. Let's grab this call. Good morning.
Good morning again, gentlemen. Yes to the poll.
All right, big guy. Pull to the side. Pull to the side.
Yeah, I'm doing that. Yeah.
All righty.
Yes to the poll.
All righty. You know, I see a lot of people that don't pull over when an emergency vehicle is passing through.
Kellon Batiste says no.
Yep. No. That's not what he said. He said no. Jeez. Morgan, yes to the poll. All right. Of course, Evie is coming. She's just bad talking a little bit there, Paul. Just saying. As you shake your head. All right. We have like 30 seconds again to vote on this poll. Of course, after 7 o'clock. We'll give you the results. Again, do you think the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, should accept the offer of Gary Griffith to assist in a fight against crime in TNT? We should call Gary for a quick interview. Oh, gosh, he's doing it again. Oh, jeez. I need a raise. All right, let's get into I'll tell you after the 7 o'clock news. Let's get into it right now. Evie is in.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
Former Top Cop Gary Griffith offers help to the Prime Minister and says he can make TNT safe again. Finance Minister paints a bleak picture of this country's finances due to lower than projected oil and gas revenues. The Finance Ministry says at no time did Minister Colm Imbert say he was contemplating a cut in CDAP, and a 12-year-old girl is shot by a gunman who came for her father. Details in a moment. This is News 212 Noon on Power 102 Digital. I'm Avril Sintil-Bab. Good morning. Former top cop Gary Griffith is offering Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley his expertise to help deal with the crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago. In a video message to the Prime Minister, the National Transformation Alliance political leader urged Dr. Rowley to set aside his differences and give him the opportunity to share his plans, strategies, and policies. He said these policies were successful in reducing crime when he served both as National Security Minister under the Kamla Persad-Bissas administration between 2013 and 2015, and as Police Commissioner under the Rowley government from 2018 to 2021. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley responded to Griffith's offer by saying, quote, Gary Griffith, as a major part of the problem, cannot realistically be viewed by any serious person as part of the solution. It would be good if he directs his enthusiasm to the many worrisome police investigations which involve much of his truncated tenure. Incidentally, let me remind you, and all that between 2020 and 2021, much of the nation was under COVID lockdown of one kind or another. A police commissioner who quotes the reduction in crime then to his genius clearly thinks that we are all stupid and open to his narcissistic eruptions, end quote. There has been bad blood between Griffith and Dr. Rowley since 2021. Finance Minister Colm Imbert has painted a bleak picture of the state of this country's finances due to lower than projected oil and gas revenues, and has warned that the next 3 years will be very challenging from a revenue perspective. He therefore stressed the need to collect taxes to raise revenue, as he disclosed that this country's deficit for fiscal 2024 has increased to some $9 billion instead of the initial estimate of $5 billion. On Tuesday, the Court of Appeal granted an interim injunction preventing the government from implementing the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority until at least September 25th. In his affidavit, which was presented to the court, Imbert detailed the dire need of the government to operationalize the TTRA, saying that delays in so doing have cost the country $2 billion in revenue, which it could have collected in taxes. The minister noted that TNT's economy is based on oil and gas, and its performance is heavily dependent on the international prices and the amount of oil and gas that is produced in the country. He admitted that the 2024 budget was pegged on higher oil and gas prices, which did not materialize. He said oil and gas prices for the first 6 months of fiscal 2024 have been much lower than the prices on which the budget was based. The Finance Ministry says that at no time did Minister Colm Imbert say or even imply he was contemplating a cut in the allocation for Chronic Disease Assistance Program. It gave this explanation as the ministry responded to what it describes as inaccurate, misleading, dangerous reporting and commentary by the Trinidad Guardian newspaper on statements that he made on Monday in Parliament on the budgetary allocation of the Ministry of Health. In the Standing Committee meeting of the House of Representatives on June 3, 2024, the Minister of Finance noted an increase in the budgetary allocation of $495 million, or $500 million, was being proposed for the Ministry of Health in the mid-year review. This increase in the Ministry of Health's budget for 2024 will bring the total allocated for public health care in Trinidad in fiscal 2024 to almost $8 billion. In commenting on the increased spending on health, the minister said that we have, as a country, to look at value for money because the amount spent by the government on healthcare has increased exponentially over the years from $1 billion when he was the Minister of Health 22 years ago to the present day expenditure, which is now 8 times as much as it was in 2002. A former employee of the Strategic Services Agency is threatening to take the elite spy organization to court over his dismissal because his post allegedly did not exist. Attorneys for David Benjamin, a former investigator with the SSA on a 3-year contract beginning May 13, 2022, wrote to SSA Director, retired Brigadier General Anthony Philip Spencer on June 3rd. They demanded full remuneration under his contract, including the 14 months salary he would have earned had he not been fired on March 23rd. Benjamin is also seeking gratuity. His attorneys said their client's total separation package ought to have been in the sum of $427,024.97. The SSA director was given 28 days to provide the undertaking to liquidate Benjamin's damages for the breach of his contract. If there is none, or if refused, his attorneys will file a claim in the High Court. You are listening to news on Power 102 Digital to 7 o'clock. Police are on the hunt for a gunman responsible for shooting a 12-year-old girl. She was shot twice during an ambush by a gunman who attempted to kill her father on Wednesday night. According to reports, the girl's father was said to have just pulled into his driveway around 8:25 p.m. at Cascade Crescent, back at El Diego Martin, when a lone gunman approached and fired several shots at him. While he was able to escape unharmed, the father realized his 12-year-old daughter had been shot in the abdomen and shoulder. The injured girl was taken to the St. James Medical Complex, where she underwent emergency treatment. Well, finally, here's weather news for the period today till midnight. Trinidad and Tobago, generally sunny, hazy, and breezy conditions, despite few isolated showers over a few areas. Nighttime will be mostly fair. A mild to moderate concentration of Saharan dust is present in the atmosphere. Persons sensitive to these conditions should take the necessary precautions. You can expect a temperature high of 33 degrees Celsius at Piarco International Airport and 32 degrees Celsius at Crown Point in Tobago. Currently, it is 29 degrees Celsius at both localities. Recapping your headlines at 7 o'clock, former top cop Gary Griffith offers help to the Prime Minister and says he can make TNT safe again. Finance Minister paints a bleak picture of this country's finances due to lower than projected oil and gas revenues. The Finance Ministry says at no time did Minister Colm Imbert say that he was contemplating a cut in CDAP, and a 12-year-old girl is shot by a gunman who came for her father. I'm Avril Sintil-Bab. That was news to 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. Look out for more news in full at 12 noon today and an update at 8 o'clock this morning. More details, log on to power102fm.com.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
All right, Avery, thank you so much for our major news. You can join Avery again come at 8 o'clock this morning for our news brief. And then at noon today with Sir Charles. All right. Quickly, let's see what's happening on the highways and on the byways at this time. Are the Diego Martin heavy, Maraval heavy, lead by Valencia roundabout is a bit heavy. Monroe Road to the interchange, Chaguanas Main Road, Rivulet Road, San Fernando, you're light. Yeah, but that's it. Traffic, where you think you're going to get it, you will get it. All right, usual spots. Okay. All right. Let's see if we have any more votes here. Okay. Carol Guevara. Okay. We did Michael Rester. We did all of that. We did all of that. Checking WhatsApp now. Let's see. I have Lennox McKnight. Nice picture there, Lennox McKnight. Yes. I have Emmanuel saying no. Lennon Roberts saying yes. All right. Okay, so let's get the results. Where's Richie Rich? Richie? What you laughing at? I didn't know where Richard went to, you know. Where did Richard go to? We trying to get the results. All right. I don't know where Richard is. Paul?
Yes, sir.
Our boss is saying that she's trying to reach you and you're not answering your phone. Could you go and call her, please? Log off and go and call her.
What? That's not true. My phone is right here.
I don't know. Check your WhatsApp.
Nope. It depends on which boss you're talking about.
Oh, Lord. It's not Zena. All right.
And I know Richard had an interview to do, but he said at 7:15.
Yeah,
so.
he would all right, check your WhatsApp.
I did.
Yeah, but he should give the results. We can't sit down here and wait while he twiddles his thumbs and put on his makeup for his results.
Okay, while we wait for him, let's
I'm
play
going
the
to
Chris
call
Hughes.
Gary for 5 minutes.
Let's play the Chris Hughes thing again. For those who may have missed it earlier.
All right, yeah, you can do that. Let's do that. We play this.
Yes, so I want to talk about a comment that I just saw somebody leave about me. Let's get into this. Let me keep this relatively short and sweet. But as a YouTuber and a journalist that is white in color, I find often when I go to predominantly darker skinned countries, I get a lot of negative feedback like, don't go, don't film, you're making us look bad. I never get that when I'm in the Middle East. So, you know, Palestine's going through a lot of problems, Syria, Iraq. When I film that as a journalist, never ever do I get Middle Eastern residents coming and saying, Chris, don't be here because you're white. But when I'm in Jamaica, it's all love. Belize, it's all love. Trinidad, it's all love. But there are always a couple people that don't want me here with my camera, whether it be that they're embarrassed of the issues, and I hope they are embarrassed, okay, because there's reason to be embarrassed. There is gang warfare in Trinidad well before I came. Well before I came. I am not the cause of the problem, nor will I be the solution. I document what I see. So for this gentleman that said, I'm coming here and I'm the reason for the killings and watch how many people die from my videos, I wish you would use your voice in a positive manner to lift up your community. Okay? You know, trying to get views off my name. Man, it's up to you. You obviously hate me for one reason. I'm white. If I was darker skinned, you would not be putting out the video. I'm okay with that. I'm not here to try to change your mind. But if you look at the content that I film in my own country, Canada, I don't film luxury high rises. I don't film beautiful restaurants. I film homeless encampments. Okay? Drug problems, crime areas. Why? Not because I'm trying to make my own country look bad. I'm trying to highlight the problem so that a solution, somebody smarter than me, can help with a solution. I'm not doing anything different here in Trinidad. Again, I know I will not be liked by everyone. People call me a colonizer, a white man. Hey, I was born in Canada. Canada was also colonized by the British. So all I can say is this. If a black man went to a homeless camp in Toronto and filmed it, never in a million years would I have the balls big enough to go onto their page and say, black man, leave my city or you're not welcome here. And blame them for the homeless problem that's been happening for decades. That's it. For that man that left that comment, man, pure stupidity. You're welcome to your opinion. I don't have to win everybody over. But man, fix yourself, fix your community. Then white people like myself or any other color, gender, will not come into your community and film gang wars. That's the answer.
All right, let me just give the, you hear me, Steve?
Yes.
Let me just give the results of the morning poll before I clock out to come back in. So our poll this morning, do you think that the Prime Minister should accept the offer of help from Gary Griffith? We had 52 people voting on the poll this morning.
Yeah, I got 2 more no's. I got Nemesis saying no, and I got Joseph just logged in and said no. So 54 people said no.
No, that's not what it is. It would be 54 people voting.
Oh, it's 54 people voting.
What's wrong with you this morning? And of the 54
this
people,
morning, all the time, you mean?
30 said no, and 24 said yes. So it was pretty competitive. But 30 people said no, 24 people said yes to the poll this morning. Of course, I have another interview in another place, so I'm just dropping out momentarily. I'll be back.
Yeah, I just sent Gary's abroad, so I sent him a link. Gary, morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Good morning.
Right. Okay. So Richard had going to an interview for Tobago because Love is a Walk is heading to Tobago this weekend, and Paul is just on the phone there for a minute. So quickly, what made you come up with this idea to make a statement to come out to help the police?
Well, sure. Good morning again. It's not an idea. It is what should be done as a patriot. You recall that this is...
No, but I'm sure you sat down somewhere over dinner and talking to Nicola and say, I should do this.
Well, again, you'd have seen over the last few weeks what has been happening. Eventually, this is going to touch someone. The system with crime, it by the laws of probability, somebody is going to be affected. So even from February last year when I offered, I think Paul is somewhere there. I think I should have been an independent senator rather than be a government or opposition senator. You can't be making decisions based on what is right for your political party. You have to do it what is right for your country. And there are many people on my side say, but Gary, if you do this, you're going to help. It'll help the PNM. I don't care. That is not what this is about. It's not about who can win an election. This is about trying to win back a country. We have a nation to defend. And it is very, very disheartening when it is that you will actually see, there's a Guardian. If you look at the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian in the comments, almost 100% of the comments are there in agreement with what I have done. But anybody who could see this as being something that should not be done, then it means that you prefer to be more political than being concerned about your daughter being raped, your wife being kidnapped, your son being killed. If this could assist in one person less being killed, how could you in any way say you're not in agreement with it? And I'll tell you why. If Keith Rowley tomorrow says, yes, I think this is a good thing, we need to bury the hatchet. Out of those 30 callers, I could put my head on the block, about 29 will now say yes. And that is the problem that happens in this country. Whatever your political leader says, remember when Donald Trump said he could go down Times Square and kill someone and they will all vote for him? We are no different. We are so caught up in the realm of politics that whatever my political leader says and wants is what I will blindly agree to, even though it greatly increases the possibility of me being robbed, raped, kidnapped, or killed. That is very sad because you remember this movie, Steve, La Silence of the Lamb, what it is? That you went to Hannibal. Yeah, you go to Hannibal. I don't care who you are. I don't care if it is you could help stop crime. If you could help, I am going to communicate with you. Not Trinidad and Tobago. Rowley don't like Gary over my dead body. You don't care if it is that could have prevented you from being robbed, extortion, home invasion, kidnapping, rape, kill. I don't care. Rowley says so. That has to end. Why it is we don't put country first? And that's the way I am. I will always be a patriot before being a politician. That is where I had my issue with one prime minister and I had an issue with another. I am not going to put politics before what is right for the country. And what happened in 2018 and 2021, it worked. Even the prime minister spoke about the concern that citizens are not bringing information. It is because public trust and confidence 3 years ago was 59%. The public trusted the police service. There was trust. And now it's 8%. So all the old talk you could say about why the citizens are not doing it, they're not going to do it because systems are put in place to allow measuring performance and making police accountable cause the public to give information. When you gave information, it gave us a predictive policing, intelligence-driven policing. So I think that sums it up for Steve to understand why. And again, the Guardian is almost 100% of persons, regardless of PNM or UNC. But on this show, I think it is amazing that 50% of persons saying, I don't care even if it may reduce the possibility of my daughter being raped, my wife being killed, my son being kidnapped. I don't care. I don't want Gary Griffith because Keith Rowley says so.
Since you sat in that seat for a few years, do the authorities know where these guns are coming from?
In meeting with the US, they stated that over 95% of the illegal weapons come through the legal ports of entry. So when it says you hear this nonsense about OPV and all of that, And OPV is designed to secure your exclusive economic zone. That's 12 to 200 miles out. So the OPV will never have been patrolling between the borders of Venezuela or the waters between Venezuela and Trinidad and Tobago. Less than 5% of our illegal guns come from there anyway, and those are more like muskets. All of the sophisticated artillery you see in the weapons, semi-automatic, automatic, come from North America. So the OPVs would have done very little. The main reason to stop it would be dealing with our legitimate ports of entry, because we lose about 10 containers a year. When I say lose, misplace. So 10 containers enter, it's not checked when it leaves Miami or New York, and it gets to Trinidad, and it then leaves Trinidad port without it being found. So when the police sees about 800 weapons a year, and in one container can have about 8,000, what we would have achieved by reducing the all the weapons for 10-year season, it could come back into the island into Trinidad in one night. That is why it is I drafted that border protection unit to show to the government how to prevent this. Because I worked with Miami, I twinned with the NYPD. We looked and saw what was required to lock down the borders by putting that border protection unit. When I brought the mobile scanners to be able to check all the weapons that are entering, that are coming out through the ports, putting that also on the port in Tobago, Trinidad, to detect any vehicle entering Tobago to see if there are illegal weapons on it. That is the main way to deal with the illegal weapons. Unfortunately, you would have heard the road march by the Minister of National Security. If West Indies had lost to Papua New Guinea, he may have blamed legal firearms and firearm dealers. That is not the way to go. You're continuing to throw the red herring and fishing expedition on something that has not worked. For 4 years, you have claimed of a massive well-oiled criminal industry, and not one person has been charged or convicted. None. So it showed that put the focus where the focus lies. Illegal weapons, which has contributed to almost 100% of the thousands of murders by firearms in the last decade.
And so get into that. But I want to come back to the Prime Minister. You sitting down thinking, having a chat with Nicole, did you to yourself think, well, Dr. Rowley probably would not accept my offer, and what we'll do from there?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm trying to get a quote that what Dr. Rowley responded to. I'm trying to find it right now as you chat. I know Paul said it this morning. I'm looking for it here. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, again, I cannot be in control of the actions of other persons. I can't be in control of the action of what the Prime Minister would do. I could only be in control of what I can do. And if there's something within me that we have the capability to assist the government, to assist the state, to assist the citizens of this country, it is my obligation to do so. Because if God has given me some degree of talent that can assist in helping others, that is my job. That is the reason why I was a soldier for 17 years. That's why I was a security minister. That's why I was a commissioner. And that's why I've gone back into politics, because of the great demand. It wasn't accidental when 89% of the country had no concerns or wanted me to remain as a commissioner. It was rejected by politicians because they said basically, we wanted your votes. We want you to vote for us. And then when you vote for us, we will not listen to what you have to say. So the voice of the people, being the voice of God, went out the window. But 2 or 3 years later, it has proven that what was being done 3 years ago, it was the highest level in public trust and confidence in the police ever. It was the highest level in trust and confidence in a commissioner of police. Now it is the lowest level of public trust and confidence. Now it is the lowest level of confidence in the commissioner of police. It was the highest reduction 3 years ago in dealing with reduction of violent crime. Now it is the highest increase in dealing in violent crime. So if it is that I knew what could have been done then that caused people to feel safer, the perception and fear of crime is just as important as the reduction in crime itself. So if it is that I knew what could be done and it worked, why would I just not say anything in the hope that, let them fail so that it will help me get back in government? I'm not cut like that. The way that I was brought up by my parents is to do what is right for my God, my country, and my citizens that I'm here to serve, not to try to find an avenue in hope that my opponents could fail could give me the opportunity to get in government. I'm not like that.
All right. Well, Gary, thank you so much for chatting with, I have to say me this morning, but thank you so much for chatting with me this morning. And we'll chat soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All the best to you. Good. All right. Of course, that was Gary Griffith, just briefly coming on to talk about his invitation to the government to help with crime. I just think crime is just totally out of control. It's all crime of opportunity. Most of it is, as far as I'm concerned, is all crime of opportunity. People drive in to see a car pulling in a driveway, they decide, well, I have a gun, let me go and take that car. I don't know. Thanks, Paul, for coming back on. I know it was to deal with, let me just say it. Today, our sister station, Boom 94.1 FM, celebrates its 19th anniversary.
Oh,
19
cool.
years of Boom.
Happy birthday, Boom.
4.1 FM. So I know the boss, and he was talking to you about that. So, all right. Yeah, let's take some of your calls. 222-8255. Toll free North Americans, 866-525-1099. Of course, tomorrow we're going to chat with some folks from Port of Spain Corporation. I see there's something going on, so we'll do that tomorrow. My invitation to our guest for this morning, he said he couldn't make it, so I said, okay, what are you going to do? So we'll take some of your calls. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Steve.
Morning.
Yes, good morning. And I listened to the former commissioner of police here, and when I listened to him, I just sense that I could answer for the Honorable Prime Minister. The answer is no. I don't think the Prime Minister will want to work with Gary Griffith, who is still parroting some numbers or figures that he's there. That to me didn't work. It didn't work. I want to also point out something that in terms of the last 4 years, you said that organized crime, but under your tenure, the 3 years that you had here, no big fish were held in this country in terms of trying to assuage the issue. So it's just a reverberating backdoor.
We still haven't heard who Mr. Big is.
Well, he got fat by now, I assume.
Yeah, and figure. Yeah.
And what was most interesting in terms of point, I want to point out something here. You see, once you try to attack the lower level where crime is concerned, you are going to get a pushback. Because you see, we take, for example, Steve, the guns that he says that may come back into the country, let's say 10 containers, they go unchecked and some might come back. And let's say supposedly it have 8,000. No small fry, the man who's committing the murder on the street, is going to be able to bring in that. That is impossible. So when you have, under his tenure, you had the FIU, the Finance Intelligence Unit, in 1 year, that was 2020, told us that there was $27 billion in illicit transactions. That is what they track. And what is the conviction rate for that? It's low. It has to be tying that the police will be able to utilize the Explain Your Wealth legislation to ask persons where they are getting their source of income from, because no small fry is going to be able to bring in these large catchment of firearms into the country. I think that is something that we have to really seriously look at. We have to look at that. At the end of the day, crime starts from the top and it trickles down to the bottom. What we are seeing here is gangs, 65% we are told by the Minister of National Security, is who is contributing to this significant increase in crime in terms of where we are seeing here. So to get the numbers down, I guess that they will have to come up with current policies. Yes, enough legislation. I guess it's utilizing it. Okay.
All right, buddy. I tell people do not call this phone, and they keep calling. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
Two things. When I listen to Mr. Griffith, I don't know how to really think that Mr. Griffith could think people will take him serious. Mr. Griffith criticized the Prime Minister's clothes and all. What the Prime Minister had on and all, he criticized that. And he seems to be on this thing of getting even. Now, even self you can assist. But it's like putting Mr. Griffith back there is like putting a time bomb in a closed room. Because he acts as an over-ambitious schoolboy who have lost his marbles. Anytime he marbles this, he want to mash up the place, and everything is about he. Nobody else is good. Nobody else can do anything. It is just himself. It is a dangerous thing right now, because here what happened? You had the criminals to fight with, and then eventually you have now he to fight with. Because once we know the police commissioner position is not supposed to be controlled by politics. All right, we know that. But what is going to happen? He seems to want to be a law unto himself. He don't want to answer to nobody, and that is the problem. To take him and put him back there. And lastly, the next thing is, I've listened that the opposition leader mentioned to the police, if you feel your life is at stake, The kind of things she's saying, it is not organized well for the people that how people think with the police, because she's talking to the well, go ahead, shoot. It is not like that.
Thank you, caller.
Other things in a certain way.
All right. Thank you. All the best. Lots of calls coming through. Good morning.
Hey, morning again.
Morning, Mr. Patrick.
Morning, Mr. Patrick.
You know, as I was looking at the comparison between the cost of living in Canada, America, Trinidad, and I'm looking at the cost of living in Trinidad with the price of foodstuffs and different things. And I don't know how could we regulate the price of foodstuff when we using the U.S. to buy everything and bring it to the country. Another thing I was looking at, taxation in those countries is very high, but yet you have to have health insurance. You understand? Because you'll end up in the same system like Trinidad, government hospitals, but if you have health insurance, if you don't have health insurance, you have problems outside there. So, trying to understand the comparison between life out there and life here. But the problem in Trinidad is crime. Crime affecting the whole system in Trinidad. Are you sure if we don't have all them crime in Trinidad? 3/4 of the people who are outside here, when I outside in America, some of them wish they was back in Trinidad. Because living out there is easy, Mr. Richard. You know that?
Yeah, we know that.
A lot of people feel when you go to America and Canada and England, you go in Hollywood.
Yeah.
You understand? Oh, that's different. But Gary trying to ask the government to assist with crime, but under the SSA, was he in charge of the whole system?
You asked me, I can't remember, I can't remember what I did last
No, the SSA is a different agency to the police.
Yeah, as far as I think it is.
Yeah, but he wasn't the commissioner of police yet?
Yes, he was the commissioner of police, and the police is different to the SSA. He may second people from the SRPs to the SSA, but he wasn't, as far as I know, in charge of the SSA.
But the guy who ordered the interview, he said he get the precept from Gary?
Because he was seconded as a special reserve police officer to the SSA. That is different.
Right? But Gary has been charged of many things in the sense that not legally charged, but a lot of killing when he watched this, I don't know. How true it is.
I don't know what you mean by that, and you need to qualify to withdraw it.
Yeah, I withdraw it, but they say a lot of things happen. We have a lot of cases still going on to find out why certain people get shoot down and nothing really come out of that yet.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The La Hockada station that follows the churning. All these things, understand? So let me see what's going on there. But I wish somebody could put a handle on crime in Trinidad and Tobago. Boy.
Yeah, they need to. Definitely. Thank you, Mr. Patrick. All the best. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning, Stephen, with the guy again. Sorry, I know you have plenty, but let's get this quick. Yeah, I don't know. This second time I heard Mr. Patrick calling us about, I don't, comparing Trinidad with America. Mr. Patrick, I have invited you when you come to America because it's in Far Rockaway, but it's close to me. So let me show you a good time. It's to me, I am living an American dream, and I find it's nicer out here, much greater out in prices. The other day, Walmart was selling 60 eggs for $6. I don't know what you're speaking about. It's more expensive, and you have to involve Medicaid and Medicare. After you retire, you pay about $120 or something to a month, and you have health care. So people, I don't know who you're hanging out with, Mr. Patrick, but I love it out here. I love it. And prices, a roti here is $8. How's a roti in Trinidad? I don't know. It's $25, $40, I don't know. But Mr. Patrick,
I think a chicken is like 35.
35.
I think some places.
You can hold chicken for $35, Steve. Tell me, please.
I bought a bone chicken roti for someone last week, and it was $35.
A chicken? You said chicken or chicken roti?
Chicken roti.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen to this, quick. We know it says $17. We know it by only $20. I can work 1 hour, that's me, but somebody for COVID when you're age. They work for 1 hour and buy 2 roti. Yeah, they work for 2 hours and try to buy roti. Think about that. It's just cheaper out here, brother. It's cheaper. All right, gentlemen. You all have a great day.
Thanks, big guy. All the best. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Doctor.
Hey, is this L.A.?
One and only.
You real missing in action.
I'll be listening to once, and then it'll be happy to get you.
Doctor, you still working nighttime?
No, back on this.
Okay. Go ahead.
Hey, Dr. Paul, how you doing, sir?
I'm good, and your good self?
I'm not there hanging in there, you know. Every day,
You gotta hang in there.
Yes, sir. Steve, how you going, boy? You still eating all them doubles and things, boy?
No, hardly, boy. Cutting down on the doubles.
Okay. And one thing, for Dr. Paul, this is, you always be begging for food,
Yeah, you don't bring any for me. You don't bring no pizza. You mean like 100 pizza?
Not my requirement. It's not my obligation.
200 roti. I don't know what's going on. I give up on him.
I didn't know my contract.
But you'll go by Wendell and buy Wendell a roti. And he won't buy me one, you know, Mr. Ellie.
Hey, Paul, people get like you don't get food home at all.
That's true. I'll get on like that sometimes.
I didn't know I was Mr. or Mrs. Khan. I'm obliged to bring and provide food for him regularly.
Yeah.
Not saying a word. I give up on him. Well, thanks so much, Ellie, for calling. All the best to you.
Have a good day.
How your dog going?
Well, we are getting my daughter keeps saying she want dog.
But I thought you got one.
No, but I said that she's so distraught that dog shelter, and it's just like she wants to go back and hold her dog again.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Yeah. All right.
We'll chat soon. All the best here. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Paul.
Morning.
Paul, Steve.
Morning.
Sorry, don't get jealous, eh? Hear what, Steve? You know, I don't know why Gary would feel that he has the solution. All I want him to do is to lift that, injunction that he has in the courts, and let us hear what he said. What was the report? Let it be laid in Parliament, and let us hear what is what before I could have any kind of faith to say, well, yes, he could handle things. But why you want to block that, and then you gag the man in the court, and then you want to come now to say you're offering to help him? We out here like we dumb. We don't know what's going on between them. So he had to fix that, and then we will want to hear what he has to say. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Zena. All the best here. Lots of calls coming through. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Steve. Morning, Paul. Paul, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you aware of how this so-called survey that Gary does speak about, and always quoting 69% of the population had confidence in the police service from whatever year to whatever year, and now it's 8%. Are you aware when this survey is done of the confidence in the police service?
I'm not the person to direct that question to, sir.
Well, maybe when you all have Mr. Griffith on air sometime, because you all always find the need to call him, you could find out from him.
Could you define audio, please?
Survey done, the station.
Okay.
Right? When and where this survey is done, that he always quoting these figures. Right? And while you're at it, Paul, another favor I would like, when you're in Parliament, because I asked the question yesterday on another station, and the host and them were clueless. The Prime Minister has articulated an desire to give to the Chief of Defence Staff $100 million to deal with youths in communities and whatever. Could you find out if that money was ever distributed? And if so, how has the Chief of Defense Staff started on that project, if he has started at all? And if it hasn't been distributed, when would that money be ever handed over to the Chief of Defense Staff? Please and thanks.
I'll try to remember to ask. Is it 100 million?
It was 100 million.
Okay. I remember the statement. I just couldn't remember how much it was. I will try to remember to ask. Thank you.
All right, then. Have a good one.
All right. All the best to you. 222-8255, toll-free North Americans, 868-525-1099. Good morning, Terrence Brown and Angela Collier Lewis. Good morning to you all. City chat hot this morning. Katie, good morning. That's true, Katie. That's true. All right. Yeah. So let's take some calls. It is 18 minutes before the hour of 8 o'clock. Richard had to step away. He's discussing Love is a Walk on Tobago Channel 5. All right. Traffic-wise, you're going to get some, if you're on the Uriah Butler Highway, you'll get some by Chase Village, and then it's eased up considerably. A little way past Mountain Road is where you're going to pick up your traffic as you get to the interchange. But the east-west corridor on the highway, that is still a bit heavy. Maloney, just after Maloney to UE, and then Valsay in the Port of Spain, still heavy out of Dago, still heavy out of Maraval. Long City Road is a bit heavy as well. All right. So if you're on the highways, on the byways, yeah.
This chat is so entertaining, let me tell you.
I'm reading it here. Katie is saying, okay, should I read? Let me read Katie's message. Katie is saying, Paul, June is Men's Mental Health Month. All these women you have giving you stress. Zena, Evie, your boss. Laugh out loud.
Yeah, the statement is on several different fronts.
He said, I'm on the side. On the side, boy.
I get no stress from any of them.
With his anxiety. Anyway. What is going on here? These people are not chatting with us. They're chatting among themselves.
Marijuana with an estimated $17.7 million has been seized in the Southwestern Division during an operation conducted by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. Good for you, Police Service. The operation conducted between 1 and 8 p.m. That is when? Tuesday?
What date?
Among the narcotics seized, hear this, Hear this. 66 packets of U.S.-grown marijuana weighing 48.7 kilograms, estimated street value of $12,170,370. 51 packets of Colombian-grown marijuana weighing 51 kilograms with an estimated street value of $5,597,097. A 63-year-old man in South Oropouche was arrested for the offense of possession of cannabis for the purpose of trafficking. Now the question arises: how did he get into the country? How did he get into the country? Did it wash up on a beach? Did it come into one of the legal ports of entry? Where this is normal practice around the world, around the world in any port. Not all containers are searched.
No.
But the search percentage of containers is an international benchmark. The difference is when a container coming with guns in other jurisdictions, more than likely the person who imported it or associated with it going to get arrested and charged. Here, not so much.
Paul, you ever watch a show? It's on National Geographic called The Catch a Smuggler.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. Anyway, I love to watch that show. I
But
do.
those are people smuggling. That is not necessary. Those are not necessarily containers where
No, that is not.
coming in.
Yeah, it is not really containers, but they do check for mail and mainly at airports and so on. You know, but I saw one last week. I said, "Whoa!" Good morning, Trinidad, isn't it? A lot of times too.
Good morning. I have a question for Dr. Paul.
Go ahead.
Dr. Paul, can you name one place in Trinidad and Tobago you could go and buy marijuana since it has been decriminalized? So don't be too surprised that you see where the marijuana is coming from, eh?
Are you asking me if I buy marijuana?
No. Can you name
Are you
one?
asking me if I know where to buy marijuana? So
Yes, because it have none. You decriminalize marijuana in Trinidad and Tobago, but there's no place you can go legally and purchase it.
well, let me give you the funny thing about that. And this was asked when
you read a place and you
when
see
the
where
law
the
was
marijuana
being
is coming
when the law was being amended, is that they allow you to grow, is it 1 or 2 trees or something? So
Four
yeah,
per
4
person.
trees. You could grow
Four
4 trees
per
at a
person,
time
correct.
once there are no children around it. So I guess all them trees grow up, and then people begin to weed. All them trees come to maturation, and that's if we get in the weed. So while the trees was growing up, from the time the law was amended to decriminalize certain amounts and the fact that you could grow certain trees, we did not know weed selling them time. Now, or being distributed, I say. Now, I guess you could the trees grow up, so you could go buy a partner. Like Steve who don't smoke might grow 4 and give it to you to smoke.
Yeah.
But I just want to point out something. So I just want to point out something to you all, how cynical the law could be. When you decriminalize marijuana, persons who weren't smoking are now wanting to try it because it's decriminalized. So they are trying it now. So now you create a thriving business.
And what do you base that statement?
Oh, I base it on according to the SIU, the Special Intelligence Unit of the TTPS, last year gave us some data where they're seeing that drugs are coming into the country from specifically Latin American countries, and the criminals have now decentralized in terms of creating hubs throughout different areas, setting up hubs throughout different areas to see the proliferation of drugs being sold. And that came from the SIU, and it was data from them. And I find it quite interesting that if they have this data, why it isn't being passed on so that there will be some speed up to the cannabis control bill where we can see operationalize of marijuana where we can go and purchase it.
I'm still trying to figure out the basis for your statement that because it was decriminalized, people who never tried it before are going to be inclined to try it.
You don't believe that, Dr. Paul?
It's not for me to believe. You make the statement, you're substantiated.
Yes, I can substantiate it. I have friends who never tried marijuana once it's decriminalized, try it. They are no smokers.
Okay, all right. Well, I never tried before. Well, I never
and
tried
what-
before,
and
and
what-
when it
it is
decriminalized,
not
I
just
didn't try
from
it.
me, when this bill was being drafted, I listened to Pastor Dutton, and that was one of his suggestions as well. You are leaving it open where persons who weren't smoking, they have the opportunity now to smoke because it is decriminalized.
So you're
And
saying
that-
more people are smoking now because it's been decriminalized. That's your thesis.
Yeah.
Yes. And what is interesting, coming out from the ministry, I think it was the PTA or the ministry had something last year around March. They also said that marijuana is easily available for young children in terms of brownies and other edibles. That's quite interesting. I just wanted to point out that. Have a good morning.
Same to you.
All right, Bob. Have a great one. Good morning, caller. Oopsie daisy. Oopsie daisy. All right, we have some calls coming through. Here we go. Good morning.
Good morning again.
Yes, mi amor.
Paul, your timing getting kind of out of whack now, yeah?
How so?
I just called Steve Paul. So that is why you see could be calling my name there. Listen.
You just called wrong name too. How much time you call me God?
Oh, Jesus. Let me switch my mic off, yes?
No, Jesus Christ. No, don't
Stop saying the Lord's name in vain.
Listen to me.
And I had to stop you midstream and tell you I am not.
You mean you're so good? Oh,
You will know.
Jesus. Listen, you know what
When you're screaming out, oh Lord. I said, no, I'm not. You're laughing, eh?
What?
You like that one? Slackness you like?
Oh God!
Lord, if she like that, oh jeez.
My train of thought. Listen, you see what is going on in this Trinidad here. That's like what you read a while ago. There with all that coming to the country. Imagine that it still have people here. See, so brave that you could try to bring in that, not try to, but bring it in whichever way, because I didn't think I hear.
But Zena,
yes,
Zena,
yes.
if I have been importing contraband, including drugs, marijuana, cocaine, fentanyl, them exotic pills they take now, Molly and thing, and illegal guns, and I ain't get catch for decades. Why are stopping?
And a lot of animals too.
Why are stopping though? What's the likelihood of me, the contraband when seized, being led to me, for me to be arrested and charged?
And then, no, what I was trying to get to is that when they are held, any if at all, and take before the court is the revolving door.
A caller a couple of calls ago, but they ain't getting caught. A caller a couple of calls make some very profound statements that while I understand the intense focus on the gang warfare on the street, because that is the end product of the bloodshed. The bloodshed is the end product. So police doing that, I understand, and they have to focus on that. I don't see the level of commensurate focus on the white-collar criminals who have the resources to bring the containers with the guns and the drugs.
Oh my!
All the follow the money and the poker and all of that. How much you see arrested and charged in the last 10 years? How much? How many, I should say, sorry. How many?
And if
How
they're
many?
charged, they get in bail and they coming out of
But no, but you point out to me one person in the last 5 years or 10 years or 15 years, Zena, my love, who has been charged for the importation of large amounts of drugs and guns being held at the ports, the legal ports of entry. Name one.
No, I can't think. But all right, you see the one that, what about the one with the meth lab that they found in South?
Right, but that's a meth lab in Trinidad. Kudos to the police service for that. I'm talking about coming into the legal ports.
Right, but why I'm avoiding that is because I'm saying guys like that, when you hold a man like that, why get bail? Where is he now? What happened to that? When you heard you heard anything on that? Come up.
It's going through the criminal justice system.
Continue to happen. The importation will continue to happen as well.
Say my name when Zena is around me.
Copyright.
Copyright, right.
Thank you, Zena.
Listen, you see how you just run me? I'm going to ask my
But you had your time. You like to monopolize your time. That's your problem.
Oh, all right.
You've been on the phone for 4.5 minutes.
Give me time twice already for morning. You want to take somebody else's time now. Why you
all right, thank you. Continue with all your buffet, man. All you got beg me long to hear from me just now. All right, okay. Go on.
Thank you, my dear. Mi amor.
Oh, geez, we should go and do the show by Zena one morning.
Il est temps of oui. Je t'aime, mon chéri.
Was that your bad man? What a potato roti, bloody pepper?
Two talk.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Good
Paul,
morning.
I remember one incident. I don't know if he was charged for importing, but I remember one guy. You remember the guy in Valsine? Some businessman in Valsine that was held with a set of rifles and weapons, high-powered weapons in his home?
And a mask.
Yes, but we don't know whatever.
Okay, he was held in his home. My question is in reference to...
No, I'm going somewhere with that. As normal, they found the guns, he was charged, but this justice system or somewhere in the matrix or media not covering it, nothing come out of it. You understand? No conviction, no arrest, no jail time, no nothing. Or the case will be still pending in some court or some appeal somewhere. And this man will die of natural causes, and justice will never be served.
But my question is, I don't remember. Remind me of a situation where somebody has been held in connection with a large cache of illegal guns, weapons, ammunition, and or drugs at one of the legal ports in the country. I may have forgotten.
There is one, but the man said the chicken is mine, but the marijuana is not mine, and that was the end of that.
Was he charged?
He was never charged.
Okay, but maybe somebody's listening who can remind me. Maybe my memory is poor. Remind me of one, please.
Even when they are caught red-handed, all they had to do is deny plausibility and say, well, I don't know nothing about that. I didn't pack the container, so that's not my fault. And that is it. All right, so go ahead.
I know in other jurisdictions, if your name anyway with a near that container, you get charged.
You understand? In a real country.
This is a real country.
That was mortifying to me that this man said the chicken is mine, but he don't know nothing about the marijuana. And that man never see the inside of a police station, much less a cell.
All right. Thank you. Good morning. Oops, sit easy. Morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Paul, I want to ask you something. When they the Joint Select Committee meetings, is it on a Thursday?
Different ones on different days, depending on the schedule.
Days. Yes. Oh, okay. I thought it was a particular day. I want to find out.
Depending on the day, the particular committee and the how they organize their schedule.
Oh, okay. What I want to find out is if you could raise, or how it is on the agenda, if you all could raise anything impromptu. If you all could ask when there's the one with the Commissioner of Police, if you could find out from her, did she ever get the report from the officers who was in the... they said the guys were shooting at them. Remember? The 3 guys, I think was 4 in the car. 3 died, 1 survived. So there's a lone witness outside of Republic Bank there on Shotgun Street. We never heard... And there's the problem with this country. Everything makes a big headline news, and then it dies a natural death. Look at that. What Nemesis talk about just now there with that Valsane thing with that Karamat guy, where they found the guns. And something he said, something like he has a security firm or some nonsense, and it goes on the back burner. I want to find out, did Erla Christopher, our Commissioner of Police, ever got that report from those officers? Because this is 3 young men lost.
Ma'am, I'm still awaiting a definitive response from the Commissioner of Police and the Ministry of National Security on who authorized the trip to Barbados to pick up Brent Thomas.
I mean, what is going on in this country? This case, there is not to say all died, so dead man tell no tale. There was a survivor. I remember they interviewed the young man from the BT was one, and he spoke about he was telling the driver stop, and he kept speeding. But it seems like he said they had no gun. How it is? Mr. West, look, you're bringing him. I think this Police Complaints Authority, I think, is the only place could have these officers or the commissioner on their toes, where we could you could see something taking place, matters going to court when there's this police shooting. This is unacceptable. So police could just kill 3 young men and nothing, and you just bury it dead? Really? Nah, man. I just watch on the news when it have a shooting in America. The head of the precinct division, whatever they call it, he comes, he makes a statement. He will say, well, we are investigating. There's things we won't be able to say until, because it's...
That is nice. Trinidad is a paradise.
What the hell going on in this country, man?
Look,
Martin.
Bye.
Trinidad is a paradise. You all have a wonderful day. Please be safe out there and take care of young. All right, welcome back, Ragoobarsingh.
Hey, look, Rich is back.
Yeah, I was, for some reason, I was getting trouble till sack back. My mic wasn't connected. I was like, what the hell is going on? What Jumbie is here? Anyway, there is no Jumbie this Saturday night at Love is a Walk. The only Jumbie that will be there will be the Laugh Jumbie. Love is a Walk on at Shore Park in Cultural Complex in Tobago at the 8:30 p.m. on Saturday. And of course, tickets are available at the Shore Park Complex, Aisha's Cocktail Lounge in Crown Point, Marslin's Car Rentals in Crown Point, and Beverly's Oasis Suites in Lowlands, as well as Pablo's Supermarket in Roxborough. Or of course, you can check RSR Productions Theatre page